ahead of the Grobler-Judd Nissan. Sarah van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff held third place, 14 seconds ahead of the second Toyota of Kunen Seeling. Glenn Durman and Dave Levkowitz are promoted to 5th overall after the retirement of both Habich and Baragwanath in Stage 6. This program is brought to you by Stanek. With us, you can go so much further. A 4:30 a.m. run through the Blokrans Pass at Nature's Valley starts the second day for the 31 remaining competitors. This tar section of the old National Road soon has the sleep out of the eyes of the crews as they come to terms with the bends and gradients of this famous stretch of road. Paolo Piazzamusso falls victim to one of the bends, ending up with just a tree between the Uno and a few hundred-feet drop. Brian Woodhead and Jackie Tyra skid their Golf into the bank on one of the bends, and the stage is momentarily closed to clear the wreckage. The front runners have now completed Stage 8, a rough gravel stage that produces drama amongst the leaders. The Sasol Ford throws an alternator belt, causing the lights to dim and van der Merwe to steam. 20 seconds are lost to Surgeon Vito on the stage. The Nissan arrives at the service area late, having lost time and their valuable second place.
We have had a flat wheel about 7 kilos from the end, and it was a left front, so you couldn't drive through the hairpins and things. We lost about a minute and a half, I think.
Their hard work of the previous day lost to what will be the first of many punctures for the Nissan on day 2. Stage 9 is a run through the Blokrans Pass in the opposite direction. This time the drivers have the first light of dawn to help them on their way. Frustrated in Stage 8, Sarl attacks Stage 9 in a winning time of 4 minutes and 7 seconds over the winding 6.8 kilometre pass. The second phase is still led by Glenn Durman and Dave Levkowitz, who start blasting smoke out of the conquest on the pass. They're now being wholeheartedly pursued by Skalk and Sue Berger, who have overcome a slow start to the event. At the service area, Glenn gives the Conquest a full going over, now fully aware of the Berger's advancing pace. Leon Buerter retired his Class B Golf on the top of a tree stump on Stage 8, giving Ball and Bab a breather in the Class B battle. There are 5 forest stages before the next regroup, and with both Toyotas taking extra service time, Sarl has first run at the rough forest roads. In car with Honus and Douglas on Stage 11, one gets an idea of the conditions. Recent rains have left the roads rutted and rough. Hidden rocks and tree stumps wait for the unlucky driver to make the slightest error of judgment. Logging in the forests adds to the plight of the crews as the drivers work at the wheel, avoiding obstacles as they arrive. And all this at over 150 kilometers an hour.
Keep right.
Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seeling have been quietly getting on with the job. Having taken third place after the Nissan's problems on Stage 8, Enzo finds himself now defending his place from the Grobler Centro. Running at the back of the Class A cars, Surgeon Vito watch with interest as Sarl, Honus and Enzo jostle for seconds in the stages. Looking down the field, Glenn Durman still leads the two-wheel drive entries, the Class C car taking a pounding in the process. Tony Ball keeping his Golf steady as she goes, while behind him, Brady Dabner is starting to work his way up the scoreboard. Burgers with their sights firmly set on Derman's Class C lead. Also going well after their disastrous start to the rally, Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley locked in battle with the lower order Class C cars. Jeff Dalgleish, the well-known scribe from Drive magazine, at work here behind the wheel of his Class C Golf. Brian Duncan is the navigator. The local crew of Keith Coleman and Irma Kurzer, currently third in Class C and working hard at bettering that position. Driving unopposed in Class D, Tjark van der Walt and Jacob van der Linde press on, avoiding the tangle of Class C cars ahead of them. The rough forest roads enough of a challenge for the Golf. Punctures are the order of the day, and Serge has his fair share, losing 30 seconds here on stage 14 to the Sasol Ford.
We've lost a bit of time on a long stage now. For 12 kilometers, right front wheel went flat, so by the time we got to the end, it was on the rim. So we've lost 30-odd seconds on Sarel there. So it puts us back now, I think, about 14 seconds behind Sarel. So we've got some catching up to do now.
You drive better when you're chasing. Are you going to give him a full go from these stages on?
Definitely, that's my biggest ambition, is to give Sarel a good go in his background. I always wanted to do that, so I think this is a good chance today.
So the lead changes with just 9 stages remaining, many of which are as rough as the stages just run. Flat tyres have kept the Nissan off Enzo Kuhn's pace, leaving Hannes tired and frustrated. Glenn Derman retired in stage 14 to give the Burgers the Class C lead. This program is brought to you by Stanek. With us, you can go so much further. Serge leaves the Storms River regroup control with a mission, and Sarel is only too aware of the challenge ahead. On stage 15, Serge shows his intentions as he throws caution to the wind, conquering the old Storms River Pass in an amazing 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Broken bodywork, evidence of the effort, but a small price to pay for the valuable seconds taken back from the competition. Marshall's score chart says it all. With Derman and Levkovitz out, the Class C battle suddenly comes alive, and Skalkberger has to work hard at keeping his inherited lead intact from the likes of Lawrence and Paisley and the flying Keith Coleman. The roads are far more demanding on the smaller Class C cars, and the privateers battle to keep their cars in one piece without the aid of professional service crews.
Get all the inside, I think. That's the problem. Kom je rechts onder je rem? Ja, sorry.
A cold drink can and some wire patch up the exhaust system, as every effort is made to get the cars to the end. On the other side of the coin, the factory drivers enjoy a few moments out of their cars before another bone-jarring stage begins. Serge has now won stages 15, 16, 17 and 18 on the trot. As Sarel starts stage 19, he knows his lead is in jeopardy. Sarel keeps the pace fast, giving Serge nothing. Every second the Toyota scores on the Ford is worked for, with Serge often overextending both himself and the car. The pace hots up even more as seconds are won through effort and later lost with punctures. Enzo and Johan drive aggressively to keep their third place safe and the possibility of the second position open should the opportunity arise. Hannes and Douglas are driving at 12 tenths and the resulting mistakes start to show on the score chart. By stage 20, Serge has regained the lead and secured a full minute on Sarel in France, who must settle for second. Both driver and car are refueled for the long open section back to Port Elizabeth, where 2 short stages will finish the 1993 Volkswagen Algoa Rally. A huge crowd turns out to welcome the cars at the Warmer Park Shopping Centre for the final stage of the event. While the stage seems like a formality, not one of the crews can afford to relax and end up without points on the non-finishers list. Enzo Kuhn has driven steadily throughout, and after a good second place on the Sasol Rally last month, must be proud of this third overall on the Volkswagen Algoa event. Hannes will be frustrated with fourth overall, but the car performed well, proving itself a very worthy contender over the rough forest roads. The winner is what the crowd wants to see, and with the abundance of talent around the South African rally scene, Serge can be proud to lead this pack, because on the next event, anything can happen.
We've had a bit of a drought sort of finishing events, the last two events, so I was looking forward to finish another good event and basically to win it too. And it was a good finish, and my team are very happy about it, and that's the way we should have.
Now, last time we spoke to you, you just suffered 3 punches almost in a row, and you weren't so happy, but you obviously chased hard to take Sarel, to take that time off Sarel.
Yeah, halfway after the punches, Sarel was in the lead, so I actually enjoyed it very much, the roads, and especially to give him a good go in his hometown and to beat him fair and square for a change.
So, Serge and Vito win overall and Class A. Tony Ball and Tony Babb took Class B, while Skalk and Sue Burger won Class C. Chart van der Walt with Jaco van der Linde won Class D.